Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Melissa Alves. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, I am filming another tutorial and we're going to be showing you how to achieve this cat eye look on Hydra that we did. Beautiful graphic liner with glowy minimal skin. So if you want to know how to achieve this look, please keep on watching. Okay ladies, we're just gonna jump right in and prep the skin and the lips. We've already put a little bit of fast response eye cream on Hydra just to get a little bit of that, you know, softer finish to the eyes, depuff, and get rid of those fine lines. I'm gonna go in with my trusted lip balm, and that is the Aquaphor. So we're just gonna apply this all over the lips. So this will assist in making the lips a lot more moisturized by the end of the makeup, so we always end up doing the lips last. And then our next step is going to be to apply the MAC strobe cream. And again, I use this, it's a staple product in my kits. I use it as a moisturizer slash overall highlighter, and this is in Peach Light. And again, going in with a foundation brush. This is an Inglot 21T paddle brush, and just going to go all over the skin. This is going to keep the skin nice and hydrated, but also give a luminous finish to the skin. And I always tend to apply this with a brush because it actually gives the benefit of really showing off that luminous finish that it has. And then our last step is to use a primer, and I'm going in with the Becca backlight priming filter, and this has got a tone, no, I think it's just one shade that comes in this range, and I'm going to apply that all over the face, and also again just keeping it in with a fresh luminous finish to the skin. So the benefit of doing the skin first is that it will set into the skin beautifully. So when you're doing the eyes, everything will set in nicely by the time that you need to apply the foundation. So our next step is going to be to fill in Hydra's brows. So she's got beautiful shaped brows and they're quite fluffy. So we're going to work with that. We don't need to overfill her brow. We just want to create a structure to the face. So the two shades that I'm using is Lingering and Spiked. These are MAC brow pencils. And I'm going to go in with Lingering first just to create the base. And I'm starting at the front of the brow, lightly using a very light hand filling in. And where there's a little bit more sparse areas, you can go a little bit harder and fill that in. Basically structure to the face. We're not going overboard, we're not doing under, we're just using her natural shape. So in the sparse areas, I'm just going to lightly fill in with the darker tone. So more towards the ends here. Because the front of the brow is already quite full, we're just going to pull this color through towards the end. Okay, we're going to now go in with a concealer to carve and clean up the brow. I like to use little brushes like this just to create a nice carve out of the brow. And this is a Morphe R43, and you want to find a tone that's very close to your natural shade. So I'm going in with this MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette, and I'm using the lighter shade in this palette, which is an NC30. So just going directly under the brow, we're going to pull that color down. And then whatever's left on the brush, you can actually just pull it through over the top of the brow. Okay, now we're going to move on to eyes, and we're going to set her eye first. So we're going to use an eye base to create a soft finish to the actual eyelid. This will help your eyeshadows grab on and last a lot longer. So I'm just grabbing my MAC paint pot, and this is soft ochre. So it's like a sort of eggshell kind of color, and the lighter color you use, it will kind of make your eyeshadows pop more. So I'm just using very little of this, and we're just using one of the Makeup Boutique brushes. These don't have any numbers on. It's just a small little brush like that. I'm just buffing this over the whole lid. So it does look a little bit lighter than her skin tone, but we'll warm this up with some transition shades. Okay, now we're going to set this eye with just a very light, very finely milled powder. And I use this a lot, also a staple in my kits, the RCMA no color powder. And we're just using a very small amount and dusting this over the eye. Close to me. You can also dust this over the brow to keep the brow in place. Okay, so we're going to go in with some transition shades. And I'm going to be using my Maybelline Master Bronze palette, and I'm going to be using the two shades in the middle. Those for me are what I consider to be transition shades. So we're just going to lightly carve out a crease for Hajira. This will also give the illusion that she has bigger eyes. So when you use a bigger brush like this is a Inglot 6SS, it will evenly buff out color, and it won't really create a specific line in the crease, but it will just be a lot more softer. And if you ladies have no idea what a transition shade is, I actually have a video on my channel that describes exactly what transition shades are for, contour shades, warm tones, cool tones. So you can actually have a look at that before watching this video or after, just to help you understand what it is. So we're just going to do the same on the other side. So because I'm going to do quite a graphic liner, we don't have to overdo this shade. A really great tip for ladies that have a little bit more of a hooded eye is that you can use a mirror and have it sort of at this angle and look down, and you'll actually be able to see where you can create a crease. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a darker shade now. And I'm using my P.Louise palette. These colors are really amazing because they're really pigmented. And I'm going to just go in between these two and use them very lightly because they're very pigmented. So I'm going to start with the lighter one. And using a smaller brush, this is the Morphe M514. It's a little bit smaller, but still is going to assist you in blending. So you can actually see how pigmented this is. Literally, like if I tap the excess off on my hand, it picks up really quickly. So you can always use whatever's left over on your hand and keep going back in. So by her looking down, you can actually see, actually look straight for me. I can actually see even better when she looks straight where I need to be creating her crease for her. And you can also, this will also help you to see where you need to pull the eye out. So as you can see, we've already opened up the eye a lot more. This is going to help also when applying the liner. So for right now, I'm not going to use a darker shade because I actually want to see what the line is going to do and see how much it's going to take away from the shadow. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this. I like to use this. It's a little bit more hygienic. You can actually decant this product. So this is the Inglot AMC liner, and this is in the shade 77. So we're going to follow the line that I've already created, and we're going to be doing quite a graphic liner, meaning it's going to be quite thick. So this is just a little bit more creative and fun for those ladies that want a different look, maybe not a very simple liner, but are going out on the town or doing a photo shoot. One tip that I am going to give is that when you're applying a gel liner like this, it can be quite fluid. So you want to keep your model, client, whoever it is, their eyes need to stay closed until the product is dry. I'm going to start using the outer corner of the eye, pulling up, and I'm using this Zoeva 312. It's a detailed liner. It's got a really fine angle on it, so you can create a nice line with it. And we're pulling down. Make sure to get to the base of the lashes as well. And if you feel the liner dragging a bit, then just add a little bit more Duraline to your product. And I'm not using the same thickness that I'm using on the outer eye. I'm going a bit thinner towards the inner corner of the eye, just to give a little bit more of a cat eye effect. Okay, so as you can see, we've created a beautiful graphic wing, and because the product is dry now, she can open her eye. If you want to, you can make this line slightly thicker, but I think I'm going to go over with a little bit of eyeshadow to smoke this liner out. So we're going to leave it as is for now, and then we'll just do touch up and fill ins as we go. So we're going to do the same on the other eye now. So now we're just going to go in again with the Pro Conceal palette just to clean up the edges of the liner. So remember that a concealer will always help to act like an eraser. So you can see that we pulled the eyes out really nicely. She's looking like she has quite a cat eye. I'm going to get a close-up on this so you ladies can actually see a little bit better what we've done here. So as you can see, they're really nice and even. Again, we're going to just intensify the lid a little bit more just to create more of a crease there, and then add some voluminous lashes to make this look even better. Okay ladies, so now I'm going to go in with the Zoeva 234 Luxe Smoky Shader, and that's exactly what we want to do is create a smoky effect to the liner. It's a flat brush, and I'm going with the darker brown that I mentioned earlier. I'm just going very close to the actual liner, almost on top of it, and smoking it out like this. And this will give a lot more of like a sultry, smoky liner effect. So you can see that we've intensified the eye a little bit. If you want to go with a little bit more of a graphic liner, then you can just make it thicker. But I think for this purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it quite natural because we're not going to overdo the skin as well. So now moving on to the skin, we're going to keep this glow, and we're going to keep her freckles a little bit because you know I love freckles. So we don't want to cover them completely. And I'm gonna go with the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and this is in the shade Barcelona. This is quite a thick foundation in terms of coverage. It's quite a full coverage, but you can create more sheer coverage if you use a fluffy brush. Yeah, so we're not gonna overdo the skin. We're gonna use one of Makeup Boutique's brushes. I love using these for foundation because I actually can buff the product in nicely. So using the smallest amount, we're just going over the whole skin. Was that ticklish?
No, it was just like a cold going through my body.
We're going to go into the neck just to get an even tone because the rest of her body is quite tan. And here has a little bit of pigmentation. We're just going to correct that. So again, just using a soft buffing motion, not over applying product. So you can actually see how much foundation is still left on the palette, and we don't want to use too much, so we're going to keep it like this. Okay, so we're going to cancel any dark tones under the eyes using a warm tone, and I'm going back in with the same Pro Conceal palette. And I'm going to use a warm tone in this range. So this is actually the cool side, but because it's a little bit darker, I'm going to use that as her warm tone. And this is an NC35, and I'm just lightly going to layer this. So look up for me. And we're going to focus this product more where we need to cancel out that tone. You can already see the difference that it has made on the one eye. Okay, now we're going to go in with the warmer tone. This is the NW35, and I'm just going to lightly correct this over here, this dark tone over here. Now we're going to bring some light to the face using a lighted concealer, and I'm going to use this Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer, and this is in the shade Medium. So this has got a bit of a cooler undertone, and I'm just going to apply this under the eye area. This is a very lightweight concealer, so it won't make the under eye area look cakey. I actually want to go in with a little bit more of a yellow undertone. I feel like that one was not yellow enough for me, so I'm going to go in with the NARS Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Custard. Just focusing on this little corner over here. This is where we need the light to bounce back. So I'm using my Flormar stick for the contour, and this is in the shade 3, and this has got a nice grey undertone. Again, I have explained this in a previous tutorial on what exactly you need to, where you need to place your contour shades and your cooler tones. So I'm just lightly applying this on a Makeup Boutique brush, like that. You can also go a little bit into the hairline here, just to make sure that you've warmed up this area. And then we're going to go in to the nose a little bit. She's got a perfect nose, so we don't have to do much. We're just going to lightly go over the nose area. I'm using a fluffy brush for this, Luxe Overall Shader. And this is also a wave brush, lightly dipping this into the product. So very slight contour to the face. And now we're going to go ahead and warm up the face with the transition shade. So I use all my cream products first and then go over with powder. So I'm going to use another Makeup Boutique. This is, I'd suggest it for blush, but I like to use these kind of brushes for creamy products. So I'm going to go in with this shade here. It's got a warm undertone, perfect transition shade. This is from Inglot. I think it's a RI01W. So I'm going to warm up just above the foundation, so kind of like where you would apply your blush. Sorry, over the contour. And now I'm gonna apply some blush. And actually we're gonna start with the warm tones, just to lightly go over that. We're using the Master Bronze, and I'm going in with those transition shades, just sealing in this a little bit. I'm not going to bake under the eye, so I'm lightly setting with this RCMA powder that I used earlier. This is a really finely milled powder, so if you have a dry under eye area, this will work a lot better than using a very cakey powder. With the same brush, I'm just gonna lightly apply a little bit of a pink shade. This is discontinued, but you can get a similar shade called Daisy, and this is from MAC. And I'm just lightly dipping this in and going over the cheeks, just to give that like pinched cheek look and make it look a little bit more feminine. Okay, the last powder step that we're gonna do is add a highlight. So again, just keeping the whole overall look very soft. I'm going in with MAC Whisper of Guilt. This works on a lot of tones actually, so I love to keep this in my kit. And just going around the eye area. And a little bit towards the cheek. Same on the other side. And over the Cupid's bow. This will give a nice pout to the lip. Sometimes I lightly go over this area of the face because it just brings light forward. I'm just going to set now the brows that we've done with the powder products. And I'm just putting a little bit of Fix Plus spray into the glycerin. So we're just gonna brush up the brows. And this will keep them in place. Okay guys, now I'm gonna go in and finish up here with mascara and lips and a bit of setting spray. So I'm gonna do a nude lip with this, and I'm gonna go in with the MAC Boldly Bare pencil. There we go. And then I'm gonna mix two shades for the lipstick. And this is Estee Lauder Nude Cult. So it's a nudish sort of tone. And then Beach Casual from, I think this is, what is this? NYX. It's like two of my favorite shades. And I'm just mixing them on the back of my hand to get the perfect nude lip. And then just to seal this a little bit, I'm going to go over with a bit of a gloss. And I'm going to use this Generation Plump and Shine from Catrice. And this is in the shade... Okay, this is Nude Sapphire. And then last step, well, second last step, we're going to go in with a little bit of mascara. And this is the Inglot Lash Enhancer, but I'm just using a spoolie to apply this. And the last step is to set with our MAC Fix Plus. So this will just help make the makeup look a little bit more natural and set in beautifully. Okay guys, there you have it. That's our final look. So a nice graphic liner with minimal skin. So catch me on my next tutorial. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for joining guys. Bye.